So by now, if you're watching this video, you're extremely familiar with what is about to happen next. We're going to go into some Google, we're going to go into some research, and we're going to go into some books. And then I'm going to talk about some personal experiences. But TLDR, if you don't have time to watch this entire video and you're just wanting to know exactly what to do and not to do, slowly introduce yourself into grounding. Do not be the person that puts a copper pole in their backyard and then runs copper wire into their bedroom and then sleeps with the copper wire on their arm for 7 hours that night and then wakes up the next day and then proceeds to get really, really, really sick after that. So, number one takeaway, grounding, slowly do it, slowly introduce yourself to it. Uh, I unfortunately didn't understand that if you don't do it slowly, you can feel flu like symptoms. You can feel cramps. You can feel soreness. You can feel sick. You will not feel good when you first start it. So, if you're starting off, just sit in the grass for like 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day. Slowly progress your body into maybe bringing it inside, getting grounding mats. There's a lot of positive benefits, but the negative benefits, it says again, you can overdo it. And I definitely did not read this part. I'm the type of person that likes to just 100% dive into something sometimes and just see how it feels. And then, based on my intuitive feeling of what I'm diving into, then I'm like, wait a second, why do I feel like crap? So, we're going to start off with a couple Google cues. So, the very first thing that I want you to do, let me move my big ugly head out of the way and put it down here in the corner. I want you to go look up this YouTube video right here and watch this YouTube video. This is literally a doctor showing you what the clumped up blood looks like. I mean, I can just deduce the video for you here really quickly if you don't feel like going to watch it. That's the lady outside that's supposed to be doing some grounding because her blood's a little bit clumped up. And then he comes back inside 10 minutes later, draws her blood, and then sticks it up here on the TV. And literally, they went from this clumped up, slow flowing, barely moving through the body to the blood is literally flowing perfectly. So whatever that right there should convince you into fasting. Video over, done, end. But that's not how I like to tell people. I don't want to sit here and tell you how to do things without you believing and individually finding your own truths. So right here is just kind of one of the biggest things. Like this is a doctor, and these videos are boring, and these videos definitely have like 35K views in 6 years. So you know you found something whenever you have a video that has no views, because a lot of videos with views, they're just kind of designed to manipulate your dopamine, and then everybody watches them, and then if you think numbers mean something, then yeah, I don't know about that. So in the very first research paper, it's a rather short one. This one is called "The Grounding Affects Inflammation, Immune Response, Wound Healing, Prevention, Treatment, and Chronic Inflammatory and Autoimmune Diseases." So sorry, don't mean to laugh, but this one talks about the body losing its ability to literally remember how to take care of itself, and then having more individuals vulnerable to inflammation and infections, wound and diabetic patients. So like wound healing, whenever people are like, honestly, there's if you ever heard of a wound vac before, check those out. But totally not relevant to grounding. It says that so specifically which parts of the body of the weakened immune system will attack first, depending on many factors such as genetics, habits, sleep, food, drink, exercise, etc. So this is why we talk about sleep, we talk about food, we talk about the things you intake, we talk about the exercises you do, we talk about all the different types of lifestyle that you can stack on top of each other. Like millions of people all do these things, but when you combine them all together, that's what we call the homeostasis diet. And the toxins in the body and the environment. A repeat observation is that grounding or earthing reduces the pain in patients with lupus or other autoimmune disorders. So, this is interesting because it's talking about the electron transport chains for mitochondria. So, people with chronic fatigue, people with a lot of autoimmune issues, or anything abound. I don't want my immune system to give up on itself, and then I don't want my immune system to attack parts of my body that it shouldn't be attacking. But it literally starts talking about the body's immune system attacks the host tissues and organs. Lupus, for example, right? Skin, kidneys, blood cells, joints, hearts, lungs. With time, the immune system becomes weaker and you become more vulnerable. So, number one, grounding. Definitely going to help you live longer if you do it right. To be honest, there's not a lot of knowledge that you require to convince yourself to do this. And if you're fascinated, please go self study and learn this stuff. It's very basic, very straightforward. Start out with 10 minutes, start out with 15 minutes. Pay attention to the grass that you're actually sitting on. You don't want to be going to a park because they usually spray parks, so you're really not really sitting in actual grass. You're kind of sitting in a bunch of stuff that's meant to kill weeds. So if you can, ideally, the way that I would implement this into my lifestyle, based on if you've watched all the other videos, is if we're fasting, then we might not be eating at our lunch times. And if we're trying to improve the quality of our reality, we're not going out to lunch with anybody because we're fasting. Maybe we're going to get our meditation and grounding a two in one. So, like, sit next to a tree, do your hour of meditation. There's your hour of grounding. There's your hour of meditation. You're in a fasted state as well. So, you're doing so many things for yourself by deciding to do the opposite of what everyone else is doing. I would say read this earthing book and then the second edition of this book and then call it a day. Like, I get my grounding in whenever I meditate. If it's warm enough outside, I will sit outside barefoot, shorts on, sit next to a tree with no shirt, and I'll meditate. But I also live in an area. Sorry, got a phone call. I also live in an area where I'm kind of secluded, so it's just me. I don't even know who's this. This person is literally gonna get. I'm gonna have to block a number. It's ridiculous. I don't understand how someone can call somebody and then you don't answer it, and then you gotta hang up on them and block their number. It's kind of weird. But I will tell you to look out for, I don't know if I've mentioned this in previous videos, like if you've read The Telomere Effect, one of the books that we suggest, you might have heard about the Qigong. But this book even also talks about Qi, and then it's going to mention Qigong, so Qigong. And then this is where the Qigong plus, like if you don't want to do grounding while you're meditating, you can do Qigong in the grass with your feet in the grass. There's so many different ways to do it, but sometimes I look at how can I health stack in a sense of how do I add as many things that I possibly can on top of each other to be valuable. Like I can do my breathing exercises. Like you can do breathing exercises, grounding, and meditation back to back in a fasted state. But I've learned with the Wim Hof method, whenever I fasted for 3 days and then did the Wim Hof method, it didn't really work. And then when I ate food and went back out into the cold, it worked. So I think this is one of those experiences that are going to leave you up to experience. There's not a lot of information that is required to convince you. It's very clearly something that's beneficial for you. So check out these two books, check out that research paper, and really honestly just start slow. Just because I started a little quick. I'm not sure. I know everybody was getting sick, and I just got sick in that time period. So I'm not sure if there was any correlation to the two. And just remember this statement in case anybody ever says, "What are you doing? That's so weird." No, no, no. You're weird for thinking I'm weird for being healthy. And then maybe tell the person to get away from you, depending on who they are. Maybe tell them to come sit down in the grass with you. Not sure if your partner's on the same page as you. I know that if you're the person who's kind of by themselves, doing their own things, learning this stuff, you'll be able to earn it because you don't have to worry about anybody else's opinion. You don't have family. You don't have kids. You don't have all this other stuff that might be preventing you from being able to invest in yourself. So take that nice big deep breath and then go check out the information, and I will see you in the next video. But this is the bottom video currently, but I have a problem, so there's probably a video below this video. And if there's not a video below this video, well, then next step, join the diet plan for life. A bunch of coaches, a bunch of information: dietitian, personal trainer, mindset coach, microgreens grower, myofascia therapist, genomic counselor, e-commerce coach, and me giving you books and a bunch of education beyond this education right here that I gave you. You thought this was a lot of information? Wait till you join the program. So I'll see you in the next video. Talk soon. Bye bye.